Kuya, kanya?
In-edit. Nireview ko din naman yung previous videos nung sabi nung poster natin. Ang sabi nung nag-post sa atin ay boss, kung tingin na iba ng tao ito ay glitch, pero nung kami ramdam namin na nabangga daw nila at wala sila nakita. Hindi nagtag sa akin ng video at siguro napanood nyo na to. Ito yung may nagmomotor at meron silang hagip na tao. Yan. Panoorin natin. So, yun nga, ginagawa ko si Zian. Sabi niya, Amir, tingnan mo nga ito. So, sinilip natin. At nagulat din ako kasi may nakita akong dalawang tao. Mukha nga tinamaan nila. So, out of curiosity, sabi ko, subukan ko yung message yung may-ari ng video. At ito na nga yung message niya. Sabi pa niya, boss, buti ka pa. Nagpaalam ka. Kaya bibigay ko sa'yo. Kaya ito, binigay niya sa atin yung kopya. And base sa assessment natin, mukhang hindi naman siya in-edit. Nireview ko din naman yung previous videos nung nag-post. Wala naman na nakikita ang mga kababalaghan. And with this one, feeling ko wala namang intention talagang manakot. Pero on the other hand, kung titignan natin to, maraming factors eh. Number one, yung camera. Ano bang camera na ginamit? Number two, yung oras o yung araw ng shot na yan, kung umaga ba yan o gabi, lalo na yung ilaw saka yung mga salamin sa paligid. So nangyari kasi nagkakaroon tayo dito ng mga glitches, nagkakalat yung mga ilaw, and then tendency kasi is dahil yung dome mismo nung camera, so pag nahagip yun, then nagkakaroon tayo ng parang nagkakaroon ng mimic eh, nakakala mo malapit sa'yo, pero yun pala is may distansya pa. Pero, sino nga naman tayo para humusga? Ang sabi nung poster natin, ang sabi nung nag-post sa atin ay, boss, kung tingin na iba ng tao ito, glitch. Pero nung kami, ramdam namin na nabangga daw nila at wala silang nakita. So ikaw, palagay mo, multo ba yun?
Ma'am Andrea po. Yun. Buti alam nyo ma'am na ako. Kasi yung iba nalilito eh.
Tinignan ko lang.
Sige ma'am. Suot ka ma'am. Yeah. Anong ganap nyo ng Valentine's ma'am?
Wala, kami nun eh. Sad lang yun. Namatayan kasi ko.
Condolence ma'am.
Motor accident yun, kaya ikaw kuya eh. Naniniwala ka ba sa multo ko?
Naniniwala ako sa multo ma'am. Dati hindi.
Talaga. Yun kasi, sabi nila, dinasalan kasi nila yun eh. Kuya ko. Sabi, may nakita daw silang parang white lady na nagustuhan siya. So parang siya, sinadya yung aksidente.
So,
Hindi siya mabilis.
Kinikilabutan naman ako ma'am.
O totoo, hindi siya mabilis kasi may nakuha kaming CCTV.
Okay.
Hindi siya mabilis.
So yung white lady nagkagusto sa kanya.
Parang, ginusto siya kunin.
Dati kasi hindi ako naniniwala sa multo ma'am. Nangyari kasi dati sa akin sa Cavite, naghatid ako dati during pandemic. Walang tao sa labas. Mga 10 p.m. na yon. Tapos nahatid ko siya ng 12 a.m. ganun. Yung pinagatidan ko, Talahiban, yung kanan, sa ano yun eh, KAWIT Cavite, yung kanan ko, dagat. Tapos yung kaliwa ko, Talahiban. Tapos walang dumadaan na sasakyan. Sobrang dilim. Kasi wala namang mga poste doon. Kasi bihira nga dumadaan. Hindi pa to yung motor ko, mahina pa yung ilaw nun, Mio. So yan, nagdadrive ako dire-diretso. Hindi naman ako matatakutin, ma'am eh. Tsaka hindi ako naniniwala dati sa multo. Kaya nagdadrive ako. Sobrang dilim kasi. Tapos nagulat ako, bigla na lang may sumulpot na tao sa harap ko.
Talaga?
Nabangga ako siyang ganyan. Naliko ko pang ganun. Ngayon parang tumama yung manubela ko. Dito yung dulo. Tapos suminto ako dito sa medyo unahan. Nung nilingon ko siyang ganun, nakahinto lang siya sa gitna. Kaya huminto ako. Nakita ko sa side mirror ko eh. Nung nabangga ko siya, diretso ako. Tapos nakita ko siya sa side mirror ko, nakatayo pa rin siya sa gitna. Tapos huminto ako sa gilid. Ngayon sabi ko, baka ka ako nasaktan. O kaya may problema, ganun. E di huminto ako. Pag hinto kong ganyan, pagtingin kong ganito, nakita ko pa siya. Eh, syempre, madilim. Pag ganun ng ilaw ko, aba, nawala. Nawala siya. O, ito mo, kinikilabutan na naman ako, mamo. Nawala talaga siya. Ngayon, tinignan ko yung tampisaw ng tubig kung doon siya tumalon. Wala. Tinignan ko yung Talahiban kung merong hawi ng or may gumalaw na dahon. Ganun, wala din. So ako, kinabahan ako. Binaling ko ulit, tas dinire-diretso ko na. Nako, sabi ko,
na dumaan doon, kuya.
ang matindi pa doon, ma'am, di ba na-deliver ko na. Dead end yung dulo. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay lang.
Napakwento ako sa
Yan, same lang din yung nangyari sa kuya ko ganyan.
Kinalabutan ako, ma'am, kasi hindi siya mukhang yung nakikita natin na mukhang multo na nakakatakot. Hindi ganun yung itsura niya, ma'am.
Mukhang tao yun.
Mukhang tao siya. Tapos, naka-uniform na lumang-luma.
Sa kuya ko, hindi. Itim lang daw. Dumaan lang naman yun sa kanya. Kaya nag-ewang siya. Akala niya, yun katulad yun sa'yo, niya akala niya may mababanggaan siya.
Hindi ako, ma'am. Nabangga ako talaga. Ramdam na ramdam ko eh.
Siya naman ginilid niya. Naligo-ligo nga siya kasi nga akala niya mababanggaan. Tapos yun, bumangga na siya sa gutter.
Kaya, ayun. Simula nun, ma'am, naniniwala na ako sa multo.
So, yun. Kaya mag-iingat kayo.
Kaya nga. Maingat naman ako pag maneho, ma'am. Madaling araw pa naman yung biyahe ko, ma'am. Mamaya madaan ako sa madilim ng... Minsan, pag nagatid pa naman ako, tapos lumalabas ako sa isang lugar ng walang sakay. Ang dilim ng daan. Minsan, na-imagine ko kahit wala naman, parang may nakaangkas sa likod ko eh.
Ramdam yun.
Minsan, nararamdaman ko yun, ma'am, ganun. Kaya pagka ganun, nagdadasal ako sa utak ko.
So I live in Japan, and I'm pretty sure I've been haunted before. In Japan, September is the typhoon season. Sometimes the typhoons are so strong that the trains stop and no one goes outside, and you have to be locked in your house for a few days. One day, last year in the fall, there was a typhoon. It grew stronger and stronger over the day, so my boss sent everybody home early, and by nightfall, it was raining like crazy. There was nobody on the streets. It was completely empty. Everyone was hunkering down for the night. I love the sound of rain, and since it wasn't too cold outside, still summer in Japan, I decided to leave my window open when I went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up. The wind was crazy loud, the rain was pouring. I rolled over and checked my phone, and the time was around 1:30 a.m. But I could hear something in the distance. At first, as an American, to me it sounded like an ice cream truck. You know, that robotic kind of stereo fuzzy sound of children's music playing. It sounded exactly like an ice cream truck, and I had no idea why an ice cream truck would be driving around my neighborhood playing music at 2 a.m. on a weekday. But I thought, whatever, if it's an ice cream truck, it'll drive by. Maybe they didn't realize they were playing the music. But minutes went by, and the music just kept playing. Some unfamiliar version of London Bridge or some other children's song. Just the slightest bit out of tune, but directly outside my window on the street below. The music was loud, and the rain was louder. And at this point, I started to get freaked out, so I shut my window. But it didn't matter. The music was so close to my window that I could hear it directly outside, as if it was happening right below where my room is on the 3rd floor. And the song played endlessly. It never stopped a single time. And it continued to play for like 3 hours. At one point, I risked looking outside, but the rain was pouring so hard that I couldn't see anything. So, to my knowledge, there shouldn't have been anyone there. There was no one outside. If it had been some toy that a kid left over, it should have turned off eventually, right? But it didn't. It just played and played and played. I was so scared. I took a video of it. So listen to this clip and tell me if you can hear it. It's really small, so turn your volume up as much as you can, but I guarantee you can hear it. To this day, I don't know if that was a haunting or not, but that was one of the freakiest things that's ever happened to me in Japan, outside of when I almost got possessed by a World War II ghost in a Japanese hotel. But we can talk about that in another video if you want. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, or if you've had any similar creepy experiences. Stay safe out there, guys. Jane.
By the way guys, na-notice ko lang kanina, ang pula-pula na pala ng cheeks ko. Mukha na ako si Sasa Girl sa sobrang swatch-swatch ko, but it's okay. Because we're here for the chismis, and we're here for the chika, and you know what? Story time. Check! So ito na nga, nangyari siya sa Sikihor way back 2017. Eh di ba na story ko sa previous TikToks ko na nag-travel ako, ganito-ganyan, and na-meet ko yung mga mamshi. Yung mga mamshi na yun, na mga bagets, dun ako nakistay sa Sikihor. Malaking bahay siya. Yung bahay na yun is sa likod ng elementary school. Katabi ng elementary school, chapel. At paakyat siya, parang nasa taas ng hill. So, pag akyat mong ganun, may gate. Yung gate, sa gilid, may balete tree. Tapos yung bahay, kakabili niya lang, pero may nakatira na dun before. And it's so creepy, but it's okay, kasi nakikistay lang tayo. Eh ako naman, napaka-bright ko talaga ng time na yun, kasi Tinder ako, 11 o'clock. Eh, syempre, like for part 2 na agad, di ba? So, yun, nakatulog na silang lahat. Ako na lang yung gising. Eh, syempre, uhaw na uhaw ako sa alcohol at that time. So, lumabas ako ng bahay. Dito na nag-start yung kababalaghan. Pagbukas ko ng gate, may nakita akong shadow sa gilid. Eh, malayo yung neighbor. So, imposible. Baka sinusundan ako, i-rape ako, ganun. So, gumanon ako. Binilisan ko yung lakad ko. Tapos akala ko aso. Kasi humihingal-hingal na. Ganun. So yun, in-on ko yung flashlight ko. Pag on ko ng flashlight ko, shit, wala naman. Tapos nawala. Tapos bumalik na naman. Parang lumalaki. So ako, super takbo ako. Natapilok ako, Pagkatapilok ko, takbo ulit ako. Tapos yun, samadan, ako na sugatan. Commit pa rin ako kay guy, syempre. Pero yun, sabi ko sa mga locals, may mga local friends ako doon, sinabi ko sa kanila the next day, sabi nila, ayaw dyan kag kumpiyansa, laag-laag, inaang oras. So yun na nga po, huwag kang lalabas ng alas 11 pag nasa Sikihor ka. Kasi yung mga stories ng mga local friends ko doon, yung iba pa nga nawawala, hindi na nakikita. Tapos ikot-ikot kayo sa Sikihor. Sige, magtanong-tanong kayo sa mga locals. Kasi meron silang healing festival sa bukid. Which is like more on voodoo and stuff like that. Gayuma. It's a big thing there. So yun, I learned my lesson. The next day, umuwi ako ng Bacolod. Kasi parang hindi ko talaga makalimutan na parang shadow siya. Na parang werewolf yung size niya. Yung sa movies. So yun, hindi na ako bumalik sa bahay na yon, but it's really nice now kasi ni-renovate, but still. At okay lang din naman, kasi sa kabalastugan kong yun, nalaman ko kung ano yung nangyari sa Game of Thrones. Kasi yung minute ko sa Tinder, extra siya sa Game of Thrones. So, naki-update na lang ako kung anong nangyayari.
Hello guys, mahilig ba kayong mag-travel? Alam ko marami sa inyo yung mahilig na mag-travel sa iba't ibang lugar. Yung ikukwento ko ngayon ay tungkol sa isang batang traveler. Pangalanan na lang natin siyang Ben. Si Ben ay isang 23 years old na backpacker na mahilig mag-travel sa iba't ibang lugar. As a challenge sa sarili niya, sinabi niya na pupunta siya sa China pero wala siyang magiging itinerary. Ang gagawin niya lang ay sasakay siya sa isang bus, tapos pag dumating na sa pinakadulo ng ruta yung bus, bababa siya doon at sasakay ulit siya sa isang bus na bago na hindi niya alam kung saan papunta. At bababa siya doon sa pinakadulo na ruta ng bus na yon. Paulit-ulit niya yung gagawin hanggang sa mapunta siya sa isang lugar na wala siyang idea kung saan yon. Merong isang ruta na pinuntahan yung bus na kung saan siya lang mag-isa yung sumakay. Walang ibang tao yung bus. And then after a few hours, tumigil yung bus and then maraming sumakay na mga pasahero. Nagtataka siya kasi yung mga tao umupo lang sa mga bakanteng upuan pero hindi sa tabi niya. Merong isang lalaki, tumayo lang pero hindi kinuha yung upuan sa tabi niya. Medyo weird para sa kanya yun kasi pwede namang umupo yung lalaki pero hindi niya ginawa yun. After 30 minutes or so, tumigil ulit yung bus, merong sumakay na isang magandang Chinese na babae. Umupo yun sa tabi niya. Nung nakita siya ng babae, medyo nalaki yung mata niya at kinausap siya. Ang sabi sa kanya alam mo ba kung saan papunta tong bus na to? So sumagot siya, sabi niya, wala akong idea kung saan papunta to. Sabi niya, kailangan mong bumaba ka agad dahil sobrang mapanganib yung pupuntahan mo. Nagtataka ngayon si Ben. Tinanong niya bakit? Sabi ng babae, kasi yung last stop ng bus na to papunta sa isang village na puro cannibal yung mga tao. At sabi ng babae na yung mga cannibal na yun yung mga kasama nila sa bus na yun ngayon. So, tiningnan ni Ben yung mga tao sa paligid niya and napansin nga niya na nakatingin sa kanya yung mga yun. At parang tinitingnan siya ng masama na parang tinitingnan nila yung susunod na kakainin nila. After nun, sabi ng babae, kailangan na nating umalis. Kailangan nating tumakas sa bus na to. Bago pa to dumating sa huling stop niya. Tumigil yung bus. Hinila ng babae si Ben papalabas ng bus at tumakbo sila. Napansin ni Ben na tumingin yung mga taga-village sa kanya at takmang bababa na rin ng bus. Kumaripas ng takbo si Ben at sinundan yung babae kung saan man siya tumakbo. Napansin niya na may mga tumatakbo na rin na sumusunod sa kanila. So mas binilisan pa ni Ben yung takbo pero sinusundan niya lang yung babae kung saan siya pumunta. After a few minutes, napansin ni Ben na wala nang humahabol sa kanila at umupo na siya sa isang lugar para magpahinga dahil medyo malayo na nga yung tinakbo nila. Habang hinihingal siya at nagpapahinga, narinig niya na tumatawa yung babae. Nagulat na lang siya at hindi na nakapagsalita nung narinig niya yung sinabi ng babae. Sabi ng babae, sa wakas, makakakain na rin ako ng mag-isa. Sobrang natuwa ako sa kwento na to kasi hindi ko in-expect na magiging ganun yung ending. Kung mahilig kayo sa mga ganitong klase ng kwento, make sure na naka-follow kayo sa TikTok account ko. I-click nyo lang yung plus button dyan. And ayun, I'll be posting as often as possible. Yun lang guys. Bye!
Welcome back. Every week this month, we're taking you to some of the most haunted places in Texas. Tonight, Sean Giggy takes us to the Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, where he had an encounter of his own.
If you're driving through Mineral Wells near the Baker Hotel, you'd be wise to follow the signs, to stop, and do not enter the Haunted Hill House. Experts have called it the most haunted house in the paranormal world.
I won't sleep in this house. I have before in the past, and that's when I was attacked.
Attacked by what?
They're not spirits, they're entities. They're bad things.
Owners Catherine and Eddie Estes aren't the only ones who've been attacked.
A lot of people have been injured physically in this room right here.
Visitors can rent the house and do their own paranormal research, but most people who stay here don't make it through the night.
Something crazy happened and they're like, we need to go ahead and go.
We've had scratches, bite marks, burn marks.
And a lot of it comes from an entity they call Toby.
We can go into Toby's room real quick.
One of the women staying here took this picture. You can clearly see a face they believe is Toby.
And it was one of the creepiest things I've...
Other guests say they've heard Toby's demonic voice.
It's very quick, stuff like that.
But what happened downstairs will make your skin crawl.
The most, horrible things have happened in this room. Now watch.
One of the women on the bed started taunting a spirit when all of a sudden something pulled her off the bed.
So we're gonna rewind it again.
A year later, that same woman visited the house again. Something scratched her so badly, blood soaked through her shirt. At this point, I wasn't sure I was believing any of this until...
What was that?
Did you hear that?
In the middle of the interview, we heard something scratching. My microphone didn't pick it up very well, but I'm being completely honest when I tell you I heard it clearly.
I just heard like scratch.
And a little later, I heard the same demonic growling many others described. I'm not convinced if it was a ghost, a spirit, or a demon, but I do know I can't explain it. And if you don't believe me, make a reservation, because I bet you won't make it through the night.
Okay. Wow, that gave me chills. I don't know if I can make it through the night either. That was wild. That was Sean Giggy for us. We will be right back.
I have a creepy story. Actually, I'm thinking about calling this series Surviving Lakukai Job or The Mysteries of Lakukai Job. But let's get into it. So if you're new here, then you probably don't know that my family grew up on a land called Lakukai Job. And Lakukai Job, the direct translation is yard/house of demons. So this was located in a place called Saint-Roch in Haiti. That's where my father's side of the family is from. In Haiti, we call Saint-Roch en dehors because it's outside of the city. It's lots of trees, like the houses aren't as advanced as the ones in the city. There's not as many cars. They don't really have roads. It's like up in the mountains with a lot of nature, trees, animals, and all of that good stuff, and waterfalls too. So I guess at some point in his life, my grandfather decided to buy land. And my family, again, they're no stranger to voodoo, so just keep that in mind as I tell this story. At some point in his life, my grandfather bought this land, and he knew what it was called. And in Haiti, we don't play that, you know what I mean? The name itself is very telling, but my grandfather, I guess he believed he was a bigger problem. These demons had nothing on him. So he got the land, and I understood that it was a contract that was made between the demons that owned the land and my grandfather to stay on that land. It was some sort of agreement. The thing is about anywhere in Haiti that's like up in the mountains or in the forest, expect some freaky shit to go on. Expect to see a lugau. Expect to see something that you weren't supposed to see. And the thing is, they all come out at night. It never fails. Now that you know that this is the norm for forests in Haiti, now imagine, right? Now that you know the regular forest out there is already freaky. Now add a house of demons in the middle of the freakiness that's already going on. So this was my haunting. Now this would have been my first time going and staying the night. Now on my way there, my father gave me a lot of warnings, okay? He told me that this land is not to be played with, there's a lot of freakiness going around. So cross your T's and dot your I's. Don't do too much. And he's warning me, if you hear your name being called, you better confirm that somebody actually said your name before you answer. And chickens are also the first animals to go to sleep and the first ones to wake up. So if it's 1 in the morning and you're hearing a chicken outside singing, it ain't a damn chicken. Mind your business and do not look outside the window at night. And also, you don't see shit. I don't care what you think you saw. You did not see it. And also, keep the family's business to yourself, because I know you. Listen, I always like to run my mouth. So they definitely had to give me this warning. Keep your mouth shut and stay close to the house. A lot of rules in it. And as he's telling me all of this, I'm just ain't none of this shit gonna happen. Then my grandfather winds up meeting us along the way, and he starts telling me the exact same thing. So I'm okay, I don't think this is a joke. So okay, fine. And you get down there, and the thing is about when you get to Lakukai Job, you can sense that you're not alone.
But the thing is, it didn't really feel like a bad vibe to me necessarily. It just felt like there's a lot going on here and somebody is watching me. The first few things that I do remember is broad daylight, seeing things like clearly run across my peripheral. And I would turn my head and it would be gone. Or somebody would like tap on my shoulder and I would turn and there's no one behind me. Again, these are not things that I really thought much of because it was nothing concrete. And mind you, at that point, I had never been to Singwalk before or Lakukai Jab. But I remember instantly befriending something. Again, never been there in my life, but I would leave the house, go wander around, and I remember the entire time I'm walking around St. Walk, like I had somebody or something with me because I would be talking the whole time. Like I would be communicating the whole entire time. I would get to wherever because where would I actually need to go? But I would get to wherever and then turn around and make it back home just in time before sundown. And again, whole time I was accompanied by someone. I don't remember that someone or somebody even actually physically being there with me. But I remember I was never alone because I was always talking to something and that thing was constantly telling me where to go. Also, you never want to be caught outside after sundown in Haiti. So like that night one, after my little adventure, I went to sleep. Or I tried going to sleep. So where my bed was, there was a window. So just like that. Window right here, laying right here. I feel something come to the window and start scratching at the window. Now keep in mind, I could reach out and touch the window. I'm hearing scratching noises and then it starts to intensify. And then the galloping was so loud. It's as though like a bunch of animals are just like speed or like bum rushing the house that we were staying in. Again, nobody in the house is saying nothing. Actually, nobody's even moving. It seems like everybody's just sleeping, minding their own business, and I'm just up. The galloping are like intensifying until I hear footsteps walk towards the window, and then the galloping stops. Everything just stops and then went quiet. So the scratching stops, the galloping stopped, the footstep got to my window and just stopped. So I could feel something on the other side of that window just standing there. And if there wasn't a curtain covering the window, I would feel like that thing is watching me. I still felt like whatever that thing was watching me. Then I start to hear adjustment. So like, it's as though this figure was wearing leather or something because like when it moved, I could hear its body like making that crunchy sound. It's as though the motherfucker was standing and then he just kneeled so I can hear him crouching. Then I start to hear. And at this point, y'all, I like freaked out is not even the word. Like petrified is not the word. It's not the word because nobody around me is like moving or doing anything. So I'm trying to wake people up and nobody wants to move. Like I try to wake up my cousin and she's just like, girl, like leave me alone. And it's important to keep in mind that nobody that was staying in that house had sleep paralysis except for one person. So everybody could hear me freaking around and tapping around trying to get people to wake up. They just purposely ignored me. So at this point, I'm really just under the covers, scared as fuck, just trying to focus on my cousin's body heat because we were sharing the bed. So then why the fuck the tapping stops and then I hear Neila. That's my name. And it sounds so close. Then I hear my grandfather's voice, just casually just having a conversation with somebody outside. And then my grandfather calls me, Neila! At this point, this is sounding very convincing because, like, that was my grandfather's voice. So I went to go get up, and all I feel was my cousin next to me just go. She didn't even say nothing, y'all. She just... And then I laid there, stared at the ceiling, and then eventually I fell asleep. The next morning, I asked my grandfather what he was doing outside that late. My grandfather says I wasn't even in this particular part of this neighborhood yesterday. Plus, what the hell do you think I'd be doing outside at 1 a.m? So I'm like, so you weren't outside by the window calling me? Warn me? Oh, okay. And I explained a little bit of what I endured last night, and everybody just laughed at me. They were like, well, who told you to stay up that late? It's your fault. And then this one guy was like, yeah, I had sleep paralysis. This kind of happens here. Everybody was just like, yeah, you know, just try to go to sleep early next time. And they were like, well, good thing you knew better and didn't answer when you heard your name being called, cause utap tula. Okay. And that was the worst night I had there. The haunting didn't stop, but it definitely subsided after that, at least for me. So I told my story all in one part, so if you made it to the end, go ahead and leave a comment so I know that you're fucking with this series already. I'll be using one of your comments to reply for the next video. Next would be either my uncle's story staying there or just a random person stopping by. Thank you for watching.